The Boy and the Heron came out in theaters last week, I believe. About a week ago. Saw it just now in theaters. The sub version, this film by Hayao Miyazaki. Um, it took him. I read some reviews about how it took him at least 6 7 years to make this movie. Um, the attention to details and the amount of heart and passion put into this work is definitely commendable. There's a lot of scenes that really touched me, and I overall really enjoyed the film. Um, the film is about obviously a boy and a heron, but it goes beyond that. Um, it it's an adventure movie about a Mahito, a 12-year-old boy who struggles to settle in a new town after his mother's death. However, when a talking heron informs Mahito that his mother is still alive, he enters an abandoned tower in search of her, which takes him to another world. In a nutshell, it's about existential, about um, contemplative of life and what it means. Um, what's the point of living? There's a lot of nuances in the movie where it makes you think a lot about just life and what it means. Um, there's a great uh, grand uncle in the movie that at times seemed a little bit confusing why he was there. But as you watch the movie, he and somewhat mirrors Hayao Miyazaki's career as someone who has lived through a lot, done a lot, um, towards his tail end of his life. And as he is passing down the torch, that kind of feeling, you know, it makes you wonder, is this a movie that Hayao Miyazaki is really trying to parallel his life and, that of up and coming directors as well. Many people thought that, the last film that um, Miyazaki made was his last, and then we have this wonderful film that was made. Um, at the end of the movie, I had some tears in my eyes. It was really touching, recognizing the growth, the coming of age, the recognition from the main character Mahito, and how he embraces the stepmom as the mom now, how he made some new friends, how he misses his mom and but was able to go through an adventure with her and somewhat at the end save her, and really go through a a part of his life that he didn't get to experience with his mom that much. It seems like, and the funny thing is that his mom is, has this power of fire, and the fire is what actually, took her life away. There's a lot of questions I have in this movie. Not much of it is answer. Um, the crane or the pelicans, as they were trying to eat they call it the wada wada, the little cutie spirits, which becomes babies in our world. Um, and in some cultures, pelicans are the ones who takes babies to our world. So I'm not sure what's the connection between that exactly. There are a few. This movie was rated PG-13. There were some violence, obviously, of attacks and a few scenes. I think like two, three scenes where they're smoking. Um, but all in all, I think it was still a fun movie to watch. I feel like it's a little bit more adult oriented. Themes are a little bit more complicated to understand for most young people. There are times in the movie where, in the beginning especially, where it felt a little bit slow. Um, but as the movie progressed and for more mature audiences, I think you get to respect a lot of how the story just kind of like encapsulates you, and it makes you really think about grief, about loss, the constant PTSD, the trauma that the Mahito, the main character, had of his mom, the recurring dreams, the animation of him going through the fire trying to find his mom, and then that just opposed with the ending scenes where he was trying to run away with his mom away from the from the somewhat caricatures parakeets, the parrots. Um, I thought that was really funny and a contrast to him in the beginning trying to save his mom. In the end, he did actually save his mom, which is from a different dimension. And he mom chose to still be his mom at the end. That was very interestingly juxtaposed in some ways. Um, there was a malice in this little kid in the beginning where he got into a fight for some reason that was not super clear. I think it was because his family is rich or something, or they make planes or something like that. I'm not sure why exactly the kids were picking on him. They didn't like him at first, and Mahito used a rock to hit his own face and made a scar. Um, and he admitted that at the end that that was something that he shouldn't have done. The scenery throughout the movie, even though it's very bland, you can see the beautiful greeneries, the different shades of greens from the trees. Is really when he went to the quote unquote paradise, the ending last half an hour where the colors just pop out of the parakeets. But somehow you get to really appreciate the mundane, the quote unquote boring of life, and really appreciate the people that are in it more than anything. At the end of the movie, this movie just made me want to come back home to see my mom, to want to hug her, just want to see how she's doing, see my son, and see making sure he's doing fine as well. And I don't know, I although I wasn't expecting much from this movie, I actually really enjoyed this. I definitely want to watch this again in DVD or Blu-ray when it comes out. Definitely, I think at this point, possibly one of my top five, Studio Ghibli movies. You know, it's not what I expect, and sometimes not knowing much about it makes you just ponder about all the metaphors, all the parallels of life. The book that his mom gave him of how to live your life is actually a book inspired this movie for Yamisaki on how to live his life. Loosely translated, you know, at the end, Mahito recognized that he needs to appreciate the people around him in his life, that he can make friends, that he can appreciate the people, and he actually didn't just search for his mom, which is a little misleading from the title descriptions. He actually was looking for Natsuko, the stepmom, in this movie. At the end, he did call him his mom. Um, and the Heron was just guiding him to some degree to find his real mom. But at the end, he recognized that the stepmom was also his mom. Um, there's a quote that made me think, and it was on the gates as it was entering. Those who seek my knowledge will die. And there's a part of it at the end where the Heron was telling Mahito, something about forgetfulness. Forgetting is good, something along those lines. And somehow Mahito didn't really forget everything. He still held on to some of the past, but still embraced the future and didn't let the past kind of like take on him too much. All the grannies at first was a little bit weirdly drawn, I thought, but they actually turned out to be very caring and loving, and one of them became actually a younger version of them and was protecting Mahito. That was very cute. A few scenes as he was transgressing to the other world gave me some Coco vibes, and that was very interesting as I really love Coco the movie. Different total vibe than this. Um, Sincerely, I really like this movie. I really like how it was an adventure that was soft spoken, that was mature. It was also very fitting for me, and I really enjoyed like something about Yamisaki's movies, like the little moments as he's walking, as he is changing, as they were slicing a piece of bread and putting butter and jam on it, like little moments like that. I don't know. I was just really touched by these tender moments of everyday life that we could be in another world, but at the same time, we need to appreciate this world that we're in. Um, just so pretty. All the different shades, all the peace and love that I felt from watching this movie, and at the end, recognizing that the people around us are so important to us. The ending song was amazing. I gotta search it up and see what it's called. There's a line about being dreaming with someone, and I often think about the people that are not with me anymore, and I just recognize how oftentimes I want to be with them, but so many times you want to recognize the people that are in your life right now, and you want to appreciate them and love them above all else, because in the end, we get to live one life in here, and we need to cherish it and appreciate it. Definitely a longer reaction video than normal. Very emotional as I just finished watching it. I really enjoy it. Watch it on a Tuesday. And I recommend you to watch it and check it out as well. Thank you, Miyazaki. If this was your last film, I think it's a great tribute to all the amazing work you have put into this journey. And you know, yeah, love your films.